All right, today we are diving into a really mind-bending thought experiment. We're talking about a hypothesis that tries to connect two things you'd never think go together: the biggest, most mysterious objects in the universe, and the deepest, most personal parts of our own minds. And it all boils down to this one pretty wild question. Are our minds actually connected to black holes? Now I know, it sounds like something straight out of sci-fi, but stick with me because the way this idea is built is just fascinating. Look, the person who came up with this even admits it's a bit out there. So to even begin to wrap our heads around it, we've got to start with black holes themselves. The basics, right? So let's get into it. To really build this idea up, we have to start with this fundamental split, this massive contrast that might be at the very core of what a black hole is. We're talking about the ultimate opposition between, well, nothing and everything. Okay, so some theories out there suggest that once something, anything, crosses a black hole's event horizon, from our perspective, it just ceases to exist. Poof. It's not just hidden, it's gone. It has, for all intents and purposes, vanished. And that's one side of the coin for this hypothesis: absolute, total nothingness. So, okay, if the inside, the singularity, is the ultimate void, this incomprehensible nothingness, then what about the edge? What about the event horizon? Well, that place is pure chaos. It's a swirling vortex of incredible violence and energy, where stars and planets are literally ripped to shreds. So this hypothesis suggests that this edge is the polar opposite of nothing. It's the presence of, well, everything else. And you know what? This kind of reflects a balance we see all over the place in nature. It's kind of like Newton's third law, right? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So here, you've got the void inside the black hole being balanced by this insane, chaotic everything at its edge, which of course leads to the big question: what is all that everything actually doing? Right, on to the next piece of the puzzle. Because maybe, just maybe, all that chaos at the edge of nothing isn't just random destruction. What if it's actually a source, a transmitter, sending out these ripples of cosmic information all across the universe? Now, hold on. When we say information, we're not talking about, thoughts or books. In physics, information is the raw data, the physical details and state of all the particles that fall into the black hole. It's the very stuff that describes what fell in. And honestly, one of the biggest debates in physics is whether that information is just deleted forever or if it somehow, someway, gets out. So here's how this hypothesis says it could work. First, you've got this turbulent cosmic dance at the event horizon. Stars, gas, all of it crashing together. Then, these huge energy events burst forth, sending out these powerful ripples through space-time itself. But here's the key. The idea is that these ripples aren't empty. They're like a message in a bottle, carrying all that encoded information. And finally, that information travels outward, spreading across the universe like waves on a cosmic ocean. And just think about the scale here. We're not talking about one or two black holes. We're talking trillions, potentially trillions of them out there, each one acting like a little radio transmitter, creating this huge interconnected web of information. It paints this picture of a universe that's just swimming in these overlapping waves of data. Okay, so we've got the cosmic scale down, but this is where the hypothesis gets really, really personal. How on earth could these cosmic waves, coming from trillions of black holes, have echoes in our own humanity? This is the big leap. What if, at the very moment of our conception, we're exposed to these cosmic waves? Could this background radiation of information actually influence our unique neurological makeup? Could it be a hidden factor in shaping who we are, our personalities, our worldview, the way we think? I mean, think about it for a second. Could this explain the mystery of genius? Those people who just seem to get incredibly complex things almost intuitively? Maybe, just maybe, they're somehow more attuned in to this cosmic flow of information. Like they were born with a little bit of the universe's instruction manual already downloaded. Or what about that weird, freaky feeling of déjà vu? That sense that you've been here before? Could it be a moment where a piece of recycled information, a pattern from that cosmic tug-of-war between everything and nothing, just happens to pop back into our consciousness, making something new feel oddly familiar? And you could even stretch this to near-death experiences. I mean, you hear these stories of people who come back having new knowledge, new skills they never had before. Is it possible that for a brief moment they somehow tapped into this deeper layer of cosmic information that's just all around us all the time? Okay, let's take a step back. Whether any of this is actually provably true, well, that's a huge question. But maybe the more interesting question is, how do we even think of stuff like this? And the answer really is all about the boundless power of curiosity. I love this way of putting it. If mental acuity is a skill, I think curiosity is the training that makes you better at the skill. It's not just something you're born with. It's an active process. It's the workout that sharpens our minds and our ability to question everything. Think about it like this. Curiosity lets us see a problem from all these different angles. Without it, our perception is super narrow, right? The solutions are limited. But with it, the information gets bent, kind of refracted in a new way. It turns the unknown from something scary into a playground for new ideas. And that's precisely what this whole hypothesis is. It's not a fact. It's not proven. It's living right there, in that playground. Its value isn't in being right or wrong, but in the fact that we can even think it up in the first place, all because we were willing to ask, hey, what if? So in the end, this isn't really just about black holes in our brains. It's about that engine that drives all discovery, that spark of curiosity. So if the universe really is just a giant playground for ideas, what will you discover next?